Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host, Boise, and we've got an interesting episode for Raw for you. It's very much based on Baron Corbin all episode. I know, don't turn off the review. Let's hear what happens. So in this week's episode, we get Baron Corbin upping his authority on Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss has a big, announcement, and Seth Rollins returns to the IC title open challenge. So let's get on with it. Hit the music. So we kicked off the show with Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre and Lio Rush in the center of the ring, and they were cutting a basic heel promo. It was a Thanksgiving type of promo, what they're thankful for, pretty much everything which they wanted to be thankful for. Destroying Braun Strowman's shoulder, that they're better than most people in the audience, typical heel promo. But Baron Corbin said, look, I've got some pull here now, and I'm going to use my authority to send a camera crew to check up on Braun Strowman. So we got a basic update. Braun was at the medical facility where you saw his arm bruised, looked absolutely disgusting, and he said he'll be back as soon as he possibly can, and when he does, Baron Corbin and the rest of his lackeys are going to get these hands. Cut back to Baron Corbin and his lackeys, and they were cheering for what they had managed to do. They were interrupted by Elias, and this caused the first match of the night. This was a very basic heel promo. It was good to get an update on Braun Strowman. You don't usually get that too often where a camera crew goes and visits someone, so that was nice. And Elias' song towards Bobby Lashley was entertaining, as it always is. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It was a standard start of the show, but moving into a match straight away. So the first match we got was Elias versus Bobby Lashley. Outside the ring we did have Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre and Lio Rush. So the majority of the guys who started off the show were at this round the ring and didn't leave. Usually sometimes they just go, this time they stayed. And this was an interesting type of match for me. I thought this was definitely showing Baron Corbin at his great heel leadership. Looked like Elias was going to get the win. Bobby Lashley controlled the match majority of it, but it was a good babyface heel type of match where Bobby controls it, Elias starts moving more momentum towards him, he's about to get the victory, Lio Rush drags the referee away, the match ends in disqualification. Baron Corbin changes his mind, he goes, I'm GM, and pretty much it's now a no DQ match. That obviously caused Elias to beat the crap out of everyone around the ring as quickly as he possibly can, get his guitar. Too late. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre were back in the ring and they took him out. Bobby Lashley cannot destroy a guitar. That was hilarious. He took the guitar, tried to step on it. He did break it on the side, but it was like, yeah, you can tell you're meant to destroy the whole thing, Bobby. What are you doing, you idiot? But yeah, this is a great way to show Baron Corbin's authority. He's power mad control of Monday Night Raw, and his alliance with both Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, protecting all three guys, showing why they're the top three heels in Raw right now. So I'm going to give this match a 7 out of 10. Obviously, Bobby Lashley got the win. He pinned Elias in the most arrogant, cocky, heel flexing pin as possible after everyone beat the crap out of Elias. Very similar to what they did to Braun Strowman. So yeah, 7 out of 10. But yeah, entertaining. Next up, we did get a backstage segment where we saw Baron Corbin firing a backstage hand, and then he was talking to Alexa Bliss, and he made her in charge of the women's division. Interesting. He said, my plate's too full as GM. Why don't you take over the women's division? You did a great job at Survivor Series. Not much to say here. It's very standard of, I'm a heel, you're a heel, I like you, you like me. Let's just give you some authority as well. Alexa is injured right now, so it makes sense to still give her like a heelish authority role, which could build up her character even more. I'm not going to give this a score. I'm also going to talk about quickly about the Dean Ambrose promo, which was definitely recorded backstage where he was talking about him seeing the doctors and getting jabs, because apparently the whole WWE universe is disgusting and full of diseases, even though he's managed to walk out through the crowds dozens and dozens of times during the Shield period and never got sick. So yeah, it really just shows you. And then obviously they are talking to Renee Young. This is getting a bit ridiculous now. Yes, she's married to Dean, but she's the babyface commentator, so it makes sense not to ask her. Again, I'm not really going to mark this. This was 2 really quick backstage segments which really didn't go, you know, the Alexa Bliss stuff did go somewhere, but the Dean Ambrose stuff is just explaining why he's not on Monday Night Raw this week. Next up, we did get a tag team match, and it was the Lucha House Party versus the Revival. The Revival came out and they cut a fantastic little heel promo. It wasn't a heel promo, it was just an annoyance that they had to have a match with the Lucha House Party. They were expecting a normal tag team match, and no, they had to get thrown to a Lucha Party one, which gave them the advantage. The match started again, and guess what? The ring announcer just went, "Oh, it's a Lucha House Party rules again, 3-on-2 type of match." And apparently the Lucha House Party members don't need to tag in to become the member who's involved, but yet the Revival had to. It made no real sense there. And sometimes the Lucha House Party members were tagging in. It just again really makes no sense what the rules are for a Lucha House Party match, apart from it's a 3-on-1 type of match. But you know, Grand Metalik did trip, which was hilarious. So, but the high flying abilities of all members of the Lucha House Party when they're not falling was quite. You know, it just shows how good these cruiserweight wrestlers are. The Revival losing again is a downfall. They should have won. And we got another Lucha House Party match, which isn't the rules, are never really explained. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I think they could do so much better with the Revival and Lucha House Party, but it feels like they just don't know what to do with the tag team division. Next up, we had a promo by Nia Jax. Now this was interesting because they promoted it as Nia Jax giving a history of the Raw Women's Championship, aka she's going to talk about her time as Raw Women's Champion. But she didn't. It was more towards her match towards Ronda Rousey coming up at TLC. She got booed out of the building. Every time she spoke, she was pretty much getting deafened by the crowd booing for the majority of this promo. And it was good. It adds character. The downfall again, the commentating team trying to get Facebreaker over. It's just stop it, guys. Come on. Stop trying to get it. You know it's going to be put on a t-shirt or something stupid like that. But my God, stop trying to get that over. They showed a video package of her match against Ronda Rousey. Again, this really annoys me with the video packaging system they try and do on WWE, where if the fans have seen the matches, like Survivor Series or Money in the Bank, you know that like the matches aren't exactly like the promos show it. The promos showed that Nia Jax was dominant during the Money in the Bank match. Yeah, she was for like 10 minutes. But Ronda Rousey took over quickly. It really took no time for her to take control of that match. And she nearly got Nia Jax to tap. So yeah, it wasn't a dominant match as the video package shows. So yeah, very disappointing. Ronda did come out. She confronted Nia Jax. She even challenged her to a match that night. Tamina was there. Tamina did nothing. Again, what is Tamina's purpose with Nia Jax? We don't know. Then it looked like Tamina and Nia Jax were going to double team Ronda Rousey. Natalya came out and she was taken out straight away before she even got to the ring by the Riott Squad, who were waiting for her. I thought that was really well done. I thought that does continue the Riott Squad and the Natalya feud. Yet it's a squad, a faction versus one person. So how fair is that? Who knows? But it seems like one person can beat a faction right now in WWE. And then Ronda Rousey just destroys the whole Riott Squad with Nia Jax and Tamina just walking off. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think Nia Jax's promo was good. I think Ronda Rousey is very weak on the mic, and it shows yet again. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Next up, we had a Raw Tag Team Championship match where we saw AOP versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. I was actually looking forward to this match until it happened, and then I realised it was an absolute waste of my time. Drake Maverick took Bobby Roode's robe, tried it on, started doing the Bobby Roode stuff, and then walked off backstage. The match will still continue. Luckily enough, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable was more concentrated on the match until Drake Maverick was on the big screen and he was in the toilet. And he put Bobby Roode's robe in the toilet and started peeing on it. Yes, we're still getting peeing stuff for the Raw Tag Team Champions. Obviously that distracted Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, and AOP got the victory. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10 because peeing had to be involved in this match. Of course it did, because Drake Maverick peed himself at Survivor Series and now he's peeing on everyone's items. AOP were dominant at the start, then Chad Gable is just an incredible athlete, and yet we don't get to see that often. So yeah, a 4 out of 10 because peeing on an item distracted your opponent. The next match we got was a Alicia Fox versus Ember Moon. This was like a preview for the upcoming mixed match challenge match where it's going to be Ember Moon and a new tag team partner, Kurt Hawkins. Yay, Hawkins has never won a match, so we know where Ember Moon's going in this, and Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal. This was a quick match. Alicia was quite aggressive at the start, which was good to see. You don't often get to see Alicia that aggressive. Ember Moon really did turn the match around quite quickly, and she got the, Eclipse Stunner on Alicia Fox, and she won. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It's a standard match. It was more advertising the mixed match challenge matches coming up this week. So yeah, nothing too much about it. Then we had Jinder Mahal have a match as well, Alicia Fox's mixed match challenge tag team partner, and he wasn't taking on Kurt Hawkins because obviously he has a losing streak of like 200 and odd matches. He was taking on No Way Jose. No Way Jose was on TV. I was slightly happy to see him. It's been a while, and he lost in very quick succession. No Way didn't really look that effective. Jinder Mahal looked very aggressive, very much reminded me of his time when he was in SmackDown and he was the WWE Champion, where he used his aggressiveness. And the Singh brothers didn't get involved in the match. They allowed the match to flow properly. Jinder showing his aggressiveness, and he did beat No Way Jose clean. So I'm giving this another 5 out of 10. Just a shame that No Way Jose's first match on TV in such a long time goes into a loss. Next up we had Seth freaking Rollins open challenge for the IC title. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be someone from NXT? Is it gonna be someone who hasn't been on Raw for a while, like Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy? Nope, it's Dolph Ziggler. We got Dolph Ziggler versus Seth freaking Rollins again. We did have a promo with both men beforehand, but let's be honest, the promo was going to be great. Seth talks about Dean, talks about him getting back to himself, and Dolph talks about exactly what Seth had just said, and that he's going to be best in the world yet again. What can I say which I haven't said about this match beforehand? It's like the 585th million time we've seen this match. It's a really good match. Both men selling is fantastic. Both men work rate is fantastic. Nothing really more I can say about this match. The only irritating is it's Dolph Ziggler again. I like these two fighting each other, but give them some space now. We've seen it so many times. So I'm going to give this match a 7 out of 10 because it was the best match in the night, but it's a match we have seen so many countless times now. I'm kind of getting bored of it. Then we came to a promo where we had an open forum, and this was Alexa Bliss's idea. She asked Bayley and Sasha Banks to do it, to answer questions from the WWE Universe. And I thought this was a unique idea. I thought, WWE don't often do this. This is quite fun. They even had Charlie outside the ring to put the mic next to the universe to get him to ask questions. One person got to ask a question. It was a very generic question. I'm pretty sure it's a question they do get asked all the time when they go and do the meet and greets and stuff like that. And it was towards Bayley and Sasha Banks. And it was like, if you could change one thing in the Raw Women's division, what would it be? Bayley gave generic good answer back to it, saying I won't really change anything, you know. And then Sasha Banks used the question to verbally attack Alexa Bliss. Alexa was verbally attacking the audience before the question was asked, so it makes sense she's still very much heel. Next thing we know, Mickie James, Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke come out of nowhere, attacked Bayley and Sasha Banks. Really didn't do anything because they destroyed the three of them, and that was it. It was a setup so Alexa Bliss could get Bayley and Sasha Banks to either fight each other or get attacked. It really didn't work. It's a bit of a shame. This could be a unique style of doing an interview, but WWE just didn't want to follow through from it. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 because it turned out to just be a traditional heel tactic to try and get two baby faces to fight each other or get beaten up. This moves us on to the main event of the night, and it's Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. And I've got to give the writers some credit here now. I was like, he's going to go straight away, this is going to be a no DQ match, or this... No, the match started off pretty standard. Good little tactics here from Baron Corbin. Very hard hitting striking. I've got to give Baron Corbin in this. His in-ring ability has improved a bit, and his strikes look more deadly. He was very aggressive towards Finn Balor. Finn's selling was fantastic as usual. Finn started getting the match more and more onto his side, turned the match around on him, and then obviously Baron Corbin finally used his GM trump card and turned it into a 2-on-1 handicap match. Finn took out Drew McIntyre as soon as Drew came out of nowhere, took out Baron as soon as he could, but got back in the ring and Drew Claymore 1, 2, 3, got the victory. Bobby Lashley came out from the back after the match was finished, and all three men used their finishers on Finn Balor, showing their dominance, showing this new kind of like alliance of heels. The big three heels aligned on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to give this match a 7 out of 10. I think this was probably good. I think this was a good way of showing Baron Corbin's, power over the show. I think showing the alliance between all three heels, and now we have to see how the babyface, have to build a resistance to this. I can't wait to see how that goes. But yeah, 7 out of 10, decent match. And that's it for this week's episode of Raw. What did I think? I think the Baron Corbin segments were probably the best bit of the night. I never thought I'd say that. I think WWE Creative did a really good job making Baron Corbin feel like he is the man in charge. Alexa Bliss's things could have gone so much better, but they really didn't use it at its fullest. Majority of these matches this week were very much throwaway matches that weren't building up to anything. Nia Jax's promo was alright. Tamina's still doing nothing. But yeah, I'm going to give this week's episode of Monday Night Raw a 6 out of 10. I think there's a lot of potential in here to have a really good episode, but I just don't think they captured on it. But what was your favourite bit of this week's episode of Raw? Leave it in the comments below. If you do like our videos, guys, please like, subscribe, and follow us on Smack Talk YouTube, on Twitter, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Boise88. And don't forget to press the bell to keep notified. So I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.